for your esteemed presence and being a part of this wonderful conference that is jointly curated by Education Promotion Society for India and National Accreditation Board of Education and Training. During this conclave today, we had a special presentation on quality initiatives by 𝗪𝗵𝗃, followed by 3 power-packed and knowledgeable panel discussions, which highlighted national and international practices in school accreditation, expectations of stakeholders from schools, quality standard and metrics for strengthening quality assurance in school education. We also had a case study presentation that highlighted how such quality benchmarking can be beneficial for schools. And the best part is the presence of the Honorable Governor for the valedictory session today. So without taking much time, I would request Shrimati S. Malarvizhi, Vice President EPSI and Chairperson of Shri Krishna Group of Institutions, Coimbatore, to please come and welcome the chief guest and also give the introduction of EPSI. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone present here. On behalf of EPSI, I feel privileged and honored in welcoming Her Excellency, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry and Hon'ble Governor of Telangana. With profound gratitude, we express a heartfelt thanks to Madam for gracing this function. I know how difficult for her to manage both the states, like both Telangana and Puducherry. But in spite of a busy schedule, when we requested her that please come over and grace this function, she happily accepted and said, education is part of my passion and always want to talk about education here. She is very passionate of both school education and higher education, and she's very thorough of everything. Being a doctor by profession, she always has a great quality in her of exhibiting that happiness of whatever she does. So we feel it great honored in welcoming her here for this great function, ma'am. Thank you. I'm happy to welcome Shri P.R. Mehta, Chairperson, National Board of Accreditation for Education and Training, Dr. Manish, Jindal, CEO, National Accreditation Board of Education and Training, Dr. Jothi Murugan, Pro-Chancellor, Vels Institute of Science and Technology and Advanced Studies for this function. I also extend my heartfelt welcome to all the office bearers of EPSI, Secretariat of EPSI, management, members and principals from schools, various stakeholders, all the present media for this great function. This Quality Council of India is going to introduce an accreditation board for schools, and this conference is about the awareness created for it. And EPSI is so happy to inaugurate this conference and feels so elated in doing this function. So once again, I welcome all of you. Finally, I welcome all the present media for the great support always provided by you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the welcome address. Requesting Dr. Manish Jindal, CEO-NABET, to please come and give an introduction of 𝗪𝗵𝗃. Over to you, sir.
A very warm good evening to all. Ma'am, on behalf of Quality Council of India, I would again like to give a very warm welcome to Her Excellency, Dr. Soundararajan, Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry and Honorable Governor of Telangana. Ma'am, I am really thankful for gracing the first regional quality conclave on quality assurance and accreditation for school system. Ma'am, you would appreciate today that more than 200 participants are available in this first conclave. Quality Council of India is an autonomous body under the administrative control of Ministry of Commerce and Industry. It has 5 statutory boards under its umbrella, and National Accreditation Board for Education and Training is one of the boards primarily responsible for accreditation and quality assurance, benchmarking, assessment, evaluation of the school and school education system. Ma'am, we had been working in the area of school education for more than a decade. We undertake voluntary accreditation where various schools come forward for their benchmarking and assessment. We also undertake the projects assigned by the various state governments, Government of India and other departments, where they intend to evaluate or assess their schools on the customized framework. For example, Government of Delhi in recent past wanted us to assess their schools on inclusivity, safety, security, and involvement of parents and teachers. NDMC wanted us to have a theme of quality intervention where they want us to handhold their 45 schools for a period of 5 years and want to bring a measurable change in their outcome, students' learning outcomes. We had been doing these kind of things for past. And now in today's conclave, with your blessings, we would like to have a grading scheme to be launched for the schools where they can make a journey from one level and achieve the highest level within a given time frame, where we would be continuously supporting all these schools. Ma'am, just to give a brief glimpse of what all has happened in the whole day, there had been a discussion on various national, international situation of education, how India is faring in global system as far as school education is concerned, how we can improve upon the quality. Outcome and the learnings are, the quality is a continuous journey. It is not by accident. We have to have a focused approach. What we are looking forward from our students is they have a thinking ability, they have a continuous learning, they are equipped for life coping skills where they can face any stress kind of a situation under any given circumstances. Not only they become successful in their profession, which is one part, they become a good citizen and a good human being. As far as learning in school is concerned, it has to be a learner-centric approach. As far as school betterment is concerned, the very first step is the self-introspection by the management, by the faculty, and every school has to align with its goals, vision, and mission objectives in what they do. And quality is achievable. Everybody can do, we can do, and I believe after today's session, these 200 principals, administrators, and school teachers would strive for excellence within their institutions. Thanks. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jindal. Can I request Dr. P.R. Mehta, Chairperson, National Accreditation Board of Education and Training, to please deliver his special address.
Her Excellency Dr. Soundararajan, Dr. Viswanathan, other dignitaries on the dais, distinguished educationists, guests, media representatives. I join Manish in welcoming you, Your Excellency, and your very presence is an encouragement to the participants who had come and who strive for quality. Your role in promoting education, your passion for education is well known in this area. And we are very happy to know that you patronize quality and quality education. The deliberations here were multi-directional. A lot of new ideas have come, but one thing which has come onto the focus is that it's a continuous journey. The learning is a continuous process, and every situation, every context has its own peculiarities, and we need to address that. And for that, QCI has developed a framework, and I'm very sure these participants of this first conclave would be the torchbearer for the entire country. We are very happy to learn from the experience of the participants. We have noted down issues which needs to be addressed to address the different aspects of quality education and the future, which is defined in National Education Policy 2020, which central government has launched 2 years ago. And we have to pick up some of the threads from our past, connect it to that, and plan for our future. I once again thank you, ma'am, for your presence here and the encouragement your presence that gives us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mehta. I would request Dr. A. Jothi Murugan, Pro-Chancellor, Vels Institute of Science, Technology and Advanced Studies, to please give his special address. Welcome, sir.
Esteemed chief guest of today's program, valedictory function, the Honorable Governor of Telangana and Lieutenant Governor of Pondicherry, my beloved brother, the President of EPSI, which is a co-partner of arranging this program, and Chancellor of 𝗤𝗂𝗶𝗁𝗂𝗃𝗃. I mean, the Chancellor of 𝗤𝗂𝗃 Andhra Pradesh, Bhopal, Chennai and Vellore. The distinguished personalities on the dais, Dr. 𝗪𝗏𝗶𝗁𝗋, who is behind the entire success of this program, the Vice President of EPSI, the Secretary and Correspondent of various schools from the state of Tamil Nadu, selected teachers from renowned schools, friends from media, and invited guests. Let me first thank the organizers for inviting me to say a few words or to share my thoughts on this memorable, rather a unique program. So in fact, I deem it as an honor to share the dais along with the eminent personalities like Dr. 𝗔𝗀, and also the governor. Though we have shared on earlier occasions with both of them, but today's being, it has got a special meaning. We are going to start, we are going to induct, or we are going to begin a new era in the school educational academic arena. In fact, I have already put in more than 50 years of service and experience in the field of higher education, served in aided colleges, government colleges, state university, and now at private university. I feel too proud to say that I hails from a teacher's family. My father and mother, they were school teachers in Salem district. And my mother received the Tamil Nadu State Best Teacher Award from the then Education Minister Aranganaikam way back in the year 1979. And she has also received the Best National Teacher Award in the year 1984, the then President of India, Gyani Jail Singh. So I feel proud that I am a part of this program. So only in that capacity that I would like to be, I have been invited, and I am delighted and say a few lines. Friends, in fact, we are already having a very good journey in the field of higher education, coming very successfully in so many accreditation bodies. Dr. 𝗔𝗀 and my good brother Silvam knows, and Professor Kanagaraj also knows, there are so many accreditation agencies, bodies in the higher education. Not only that, before accreditation for each and it, in several meetings, our 𝗔𝗀 used to say, there should be a single window system for starting an institution. He used to tell, before starting, we have to go nearly more than 50 agencies to start an institution. So even after starting, we have, for example, for quality control or for accreditation, we have NAC, we have NBA, National Board of Accreditation. Then we have, for example, even autonomy of a college is also a part and parcel of accreditation, because for every year, in order to get accreditation or autonomy, for extension of autonomy, again, UGC sends a committee that it's also a test of quality of education. And needless to say, there are so many international agencies like QS and even at India level, NIRF. So there are several accreditation bodies at higher education level in India, and many of the institutions in the field of perfect competition, they are facing and they are spending more energy, more time to keep their pace. And in the last weeks or some 2 weeks back, in the results published by NIRF, more than 36 institutions have come within 100 rank. That is the supremacy of education in the state of Tamil Nadu. It is mainly because the private partners, like for example, GV and others also. And I am happy to say that we have identified a right person for the right cause. Now we are on the eve of starting or going how to formulate the policies, how to formulate the methodology, or how to focus our attention to show our strength to the accreditation policies at the school level. So now we have a right person. It is none other than our beloved brother, Dr. G. Viswanathan. So under his able guidance, I have no doubt. So there should be a synergy between the higher education methodology and the school education methodology. Then only there should be a perfect pathfinding to achieve any goal. So here I would like to submit very humbly to the august audience. I was a member constituted by the government of Tamil Nadu during the year 1917 to 2021, nearly 4 years. By the then government, I was a member in the curriculum design and the syllabus enrichment board under the head of Dr. Ananda Krishna. So we started first revising the syllabus from 10th, 11th, and 12th. Then it was started from 6th to 8th, then from 1st standard onwards. As a matter of fact, the first batch appeared their plus 2 examination in May 2020. After the new syllabus is revised, friends believe nearly 80% of the questions asked in the NEET found a place in the curriculum designed by the state of Tamil Nadu. So that is an indicator of what we know as quality education. Quality education should provide an opportunity to the student to face any competition. Not only that, I was also a member by the then government of Tamil Nadu, formulated by the state government school education. For the 1 year, we were a member to frame policies for the national education policy, how it can be introduced in the state of Tamil Nadu. So we had 4 or 5 meetings, then there is a different thing. So what I would like to mean to say that we are available, or I have to say, I am available. I am always ready to extend my service to the organizers. If you need, I can also travel along with you so that we can have a bright future. So here in the previous section, I observed that so many schools have already got, accreditation of NABET. In fact, we are running nearly 30 schools in and around Chennai and also in the neighboring states also. So our CBSE school functioning at Pallavaram, we have already made all the process. So we are at the phase of, getting accreditation. And with these few words, I once again thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity just to share my thoughts. And a long journey will begin by taking a small step. And today is a little steps taken by the EBT. And definitely the journey will be very meaningful, purposeful, and successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would request Dr. G. Viswanathan, President EPSI, Founder Chancellor, Vellore Institute of Technology, to please deliver the President address. Thank you very much, sir.
Our chief guest of today, Her Excellency Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Governor of Telangana and Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, the Vice President of the Education Promotion Society of India and Chairperson of the Krishna Group of Institutions, Srimati Malarvizhi, Dr. Manish Jindal, Dr. P.R. Mehta, Dr. Jothi Murugan, former Vice Chancellor and present Pro-Vice Chancellor of Vels University, Mr. 𝗔𝗂𝗶𝗁𝗋𝗋, our Executive Secretary, distinguished invitees, members of press and media, very good evening to you. Today is an important day in the sense that so far we are talking about accreditation of higher education institutions, universities and colleges. First time a conference is being held today to create awareness about the accreditation of schools. We are a growing nation and probably we have the highest number of students in the world in the schools. It has crossed 26 crores of students in the schools, and we have more than 15 lakhs of schools, both government, aided, and private put together. It's not an ordinary thing to accredit so many schools. And in fact, in the morning, I pointed out that it's a mammoth business talks to accredit so many schools, and 𝗪𝗵𝒃 will be, I hope they will be able to do it. I always consider that the success of an institution, whether it's a school, college, or university, mainly depends on its teachers. In fact, there are only two professions where the profession itself is a service. One is a doctor, where our chief guest belongs to, a doctor. The other one is a teacher. They need not go for social service because their profession itself is social service. So I would like to congratulate all the teachers for the success we have achieved so far. But when we go for accreditation, especially when we want to compete with the other nations, we should be very careful and we have to see what are the weaknesses we have and how to rectify them. In 2009, we were participant in the PISA ranking, Program for International Student Assessment, PISA. That's the only time India participated. Out of 73 countries, our ranking was 72. And afterwards, we never participated. The government thought that it's not wise enough to participate. But it's not possible to keep away from world accreditation because we want to send our youngsters, our students all over the world. And they must be proud enough to say that I studied in accredited school, accredited college or university. So the most important thing for a school accreditation is the teachers. And as I told you this morning, I always consider two countries as a model for us. One is South Korea, the other one is Finland. Now China is also competing. There, to be a teacher, one must have at least a master's degree. And in fact, in Finland, they select teachers from the top 10% of the students who pass out, the best of them. And in these two countries, of course, they vary in models. If you ask the best students, what do you want to become? They say teachers. That's the kind of treatment they have. And also payment. The salary, one of the best paid professions in those countries is teachers, which I think we have to follow. If these are things has to be followed, then we'll have to spend money on education. Any welfare state has to take care of education and health. In our country, so far, after 75 years of independence, still we have not crossed 4% of the GDP on education, spending on education. Even though for a long time the Education Commission have been recommended that 6% of the GDP should be spent on education. In fact, we should be spending more than that in order to give education, offer education to poor and the middle class. At present, the free and compulsory education to the students is available only in government schools. But when you go to private school, there is no government support. In South Korea and other countries, not only government schools, even private schools get funding from government. That's why parents need not spend much money on schools for their children, and even colleges. In Finland, even for foreign students, the education is free. If you go to universities, only nominal fee is charged. That's the kind of interest they take in education. That's why they have all become advanced countries. Our Honorable Prime Minister wants us to go to immediately $5 trillion GDP, and ultimately he wants us to be a $10 trillion. At present, we are in the $3 trillion. It means that unless we go for education for all, it may not be possible to achieve the economic development. So I would request Government of India and all the state governments, because education is a concurrent test of the Constitution of India, to spend more on education so that not only school education, but also higher education is free for all the students of this country, particularly the poor class and the middle class. But instead of that, they are trying to collect from the schools. In fact, Dr. Jothi Murugan was mentioning something about it. We need not give the full details, because the controls which we have, permission, recognition, affiliation in various kinds, you will have to pay official as well as unofficial. If we can stop this, at least part of the education, cost of education will come down. Till we get free education, I would very much like the governments to consider this, to free education from all these collections, so that the benefit will go to the students. And another thing, when we want to compete with the rest of the world in accreditation, in quality of education, we must be very strict in training. For example, I was talking about the teachers' importance. What kind of training do we give? In South Korea, they give training for 3 to 4 years. But here, it's only nominal. Somebody can work in Bangalore and get a certificate in Chennai for undergoing training. This is the kind of thing which is happening in this country, which is not good for education. And also, the government has to reconsider. I don't know how many state governments are doing this. Even without attending the class, writing the examination, one can go up to 9th standard. This will definitely spoiling our quality, and I want the governments to reconsider this so that we will be able to compete with the rest of the nations. These are the things I wanted to suggest, and ultimately, we want our students to be very good in education, quality education. They must go for higher education also, and we have so much opportunity to go and work anywhere in the world. So in order to prepare them for this, we require quality education, and ultimately accreditation will be part of this. And I thank the National Accreditation Board for Education and Training for giving an opportunity to UPSI to conduct this conference. I would also like to thank our Governor, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, for accepting our invitation to be here with us, Chief Guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And with this, I would now like to request the Honorable Governor of Telangana and Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Her Excellency Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan. Can we have a big round of applause?
A special good evening to each and everyone here. Dr. P.R. Mehta, Chairperson, National Accreditation Board for Education and Training. Dr. G. Viswanathan, President, Education Promotion Society of India and founder and Chancellor, Vellore Institute of Technology, and is one of the stalwarts of academicians in not only in India, not only in Tamil Nadu, but all in India and other states also. And Srimati S. Malarvizhi, Vice President, Education Promotion Society of India. It's a good friend of mine. And Dr. Manish Jindal, the CEO, National Accreditation Board for Education and Training, esteemed members, distinguished invitees and guests, members, press and media, and all the academicians, the principals, the supporters of school education, Shri Jothi Murugan, the Pro-Chancellor, Vels University, and Shri 𝗪𝗵𝗵𝗁, Executive Secretary, who came and invited me. I really very happy to be here in spite of my busy schedule. I'm very happy to be here. And when our President, Dr. G. Viswanathan, explained me what is the need for grading system. And as a person who is in touch with the school education, and now I'm visiting almost, I had a plan of visiting 75 schools because we are celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And I have completed almost 28 schools. And when I visited even few schools, I personally felt that grading and accreditation is the need of the hour. And when the Pro-Chancellor Vels University said, Jothi Murugan said, it is a small step, but I feel it's a great leap. It's not a small step. Because thinking about the accreditation and thinking about grading and giving equal opportunities to the children. When I was talking with Mr. Dr. P.R. Mehta, he said almost 28 crore population of our country are in the schools constantly. So almost 20% of the population is in the schools. So how it is very unfair to give them an unequal status. There should be equal status. And I always feel, because our Honorable Prime Minister, when he introduced the new educational policy, the national education policy, he mentioned that making the education global. Because when I went for training Canada for my fetal therapy, and when we went for some of the presentations for foreign countries, really we felt that for the capacity we have, as a doctor, I know till 8 years, the brain can accept whatever are given to the child. But are we giving, as it is mentioned by Dr. G. Viswanathan, my respectful, almost I view him as a teacher, giving just promotion till 9th, not assessing them. It may be very easy for them if we have to give. You always cite an example. A teacher showed a child a cocoon, and she wanted to demonstrate how the caterpillar formed a cocoon, and from that, hitting it with the wings, young wings, the butterfly comes out. But when she wanted to demonstrate that, one child wanted to help the butterfly, so he just opened the cocoon, but the butterfly died. Because it gained strength by hitting the young wings, gain strength by hitting the cocoon. That is nature. But when we give it the easy way of coming out, it's not the challenge. When it is unable to face the challenge, that is what we are all doing from the childhood. Because of that, only after 9th, 10th, if the teacher wants some marks, and if she says or if he says that you have to perform well, immediately the child takes it into the heart and go to depression, get into depression, and the child is unable to face the challenges. And as it is mentioned by the President, Hon'ble GV, he said the teachers, so only I laud the new education policy because it says that 4 years B.Ed course is mandatory for teachers now. It is not like previous selection. And apart from that, we have to see the teacher student population in our country. Almost 11 lakh teacher posts are vacant. Almost 1.5 lakh schools are with single teachers. And I always feel, as a medical student, I always feel, we used to laud our teachers. We used to run for the clinics. If a particular teacher is taking a clinic in different ward, we used to run to get the knowledge from them. We won't be able to know from where they took the lessons, subject. Because like bees, they used to collect it from different textbooks. And they used to deliver us. But nowadays I have seen, I can always say this topic has been taken from the 25th page of Cunningham. Just he will come and vomit. And this child, no, he has taken it from 25. I will go home and I will read the page 25 page because nothing is new. But when we were all students, we won't be able to find out from where they took the subject, from where they took the information. No book will give the information. So they read 10 to 15 books. So that olden days, now we have to regain the glory. So this accreditation is very much needed. And apart from that, as I said, it's very unfair to give the young population not grading the schools. So that is only Samachir. In a simple language, if I say, Samachir means you have to have the education, all should have the equal education. Because I feel that student population is more confident, more brainy, but we have to give them confidence. Once I went, because they are very clever when compared to the previous generation. When I went to a school, always I assess the audience to know about and how to talk to them, because assessing the audience will help me to select a subject. So when I went to a school, I called one boy and asked him, your school is state board or central board? That boy told, in our school, all blackboards only, madam. So he very well knew that I am asking about the central or state board. But he is so mischievous and he wanted to challenge even the chief guest coming to their school. And he told, no, blackboard only in our schools. So how we are going to provide the depth of knowledge to these children who are raw and who are very ready to accept things? So that is, as Vivekananda says, it's man-making. It is to face the challenges. The main problem in the education is now we are facing suicides. We are seeing the experience of children that is unacceptable to me, whether it is a girl child or a boy child. But it's unacceptable. Why this happens? The society should be blamed because they are children. We have to make them to face the challenges. We have to practice them to face the challenges. We have to make them courageous. And because the clever students, they are clever, but they are not confident. They are clever, but they are not courageous to face the situation. So that is the main aim of the schools, which we have to, because when accreditation is there, it pushes the institutions to maintain the standards. Whether the schools, because I have seen the classrooms and I'm urging some of the institutions, and even I urge some of them to give me CSR funds so that some of the schools, the school classrooms, and because when we compared with some of the private institutions, it is very unfair to make some of the population to sit in that type of classrooms when their same counterparts are sitting in a very luxurious classrooms and studying. And then another thing, teacher population. As it is said, the new education policy says that the teachers should be much trained so that to train the student. So this accreditation, as it is said, and it is really appreciate all the stalwarts sitting in the stage, because the new thought, because we know NAC, I have personally attended the NAC accreditation process, because as a chancellor of universities, Telangana has 14 universities. As chancellor of universities, I wanted a good quality education, higher education. I personally attended, and I personally viewed how it is graded, and that type of grading is needed. And I really congratulate the organizers and all the stalwarts sitting, the academicians who are supporting it. So now you have made a thought, you have created a feeling that this accreditation is the need of the hour, and I really congratulate you all. And apart from that, school education should be much more viewed with the child. They are very tender, they are in the tender age group. Psychological support should be there, physical support should be there. They should be educationally strong as well as emotionally strong also. So these type of whether psychotherapists or any other support is needed for them. So when the institution is confident to face the situation, the child gains the confidence. So when the institution itself weak, and when the institution itself in a shattery position, definitely it cannot create a confidence among their children. So this type of accreditation and the grading is the need of the hour. It is needed, and I'm really happy that you are in the process of getting it, and your efforts, I congratulate you, and I wish your efforts should be successful. And as a part of a person who is in the government, actually, and government means I'm not in I'm a governor, I'm not in the deciding place like other thing, but whenever it is possible, my views will be put forth in a strong manner, so that the accreditation for school is the need of the hour, is necessary. And definitely I will also support you, so that this is really it is not that we all know that education is not just filling the pot, it is kindling the fire, so that we also should have more infrastructure, should have more strength to bring up the child, because that is our future generation. And as it is said, major, it's a young country, because more when 28 crore population is in the school, and same equal population is in the colleges, and almost 50 to 60% of the population is younger generation, so it is only known as young country. So I really happy to be here and congratulate you, and what all the support which could be rendered by me, I will do, and I will give the support, because I personally feel this is a great leap. As I said, it's a great effort, so that our future generation will be benefited by that. And Dr. GV told me, we are having accreditation, we are having grading for higher education, but these children only coming for higher education. When there is no any grading, when there is no any quality and equality for them, and how can we expect the quality and equality and inclusiveness when they come to the colleges? So when we go for accreditation of the school education, your higher education, it will be much easier, because halfway your problem will be solved in the school education, and then the efforts which you have to put in the higher education will be minimized, so that it also aid your higher education also. So it's a great effort. Congratulate each and everyone. Thank you so much. And as it is said by Vivekananda, and as it is said by all the other leaders, that our education refines us. Education is refining us, and this refinement will be brought out by accreditation of the schools. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful address. And thank you for appreciating the efforts put in by QCI and EPSI. Now, I would request the Honorable Governor to formally launch the grading by NABET. Can I request the placards, please? I would request 𝗪𝗲𝗶𝗁𝗪 ma'am to please come on the stage. NABET Grading School Quality Index. This is an index that will enable and help schools conduct self-assessment and determine their applicable grade on the set of framework as a handy index. This would be helpful for schools to plan, identify performance gaps, and build off existing and new best practices. With this, I would like everybody to please have a big round of applause for the launch of the grading. Thank you very much, ma'am, once again. I would request Dr. G. Viswanathan and Dr. P.R. Mehta to please felicitate the Honorable Governor with the memento. Can I please have a big round of applause? This is one memento which EPSI has been using for the last 15 years. The president, vice president, even at the international level. Thank you very much. With this, now I would request Mr. P. Palanivel to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening once again. In fact, I feel privileged and honored to deliver this vote of thanks in the valedictory session also. Madam, my hearty thanks to you on behalf of the entire education fraternity. You have accepted our request in spite of your busy schedule. And the day we construed the idea of we want to launch this accreditation, the NABET accreditation, then immediately myself and Manish Jindal and R.P. Singh sir had discussed, and we had to discuss the same matter with our President Viswanathan and Malarvizhi ma'am. We have decided this has to be launched by you only. So that is the reason only we were waited for the 2 months. And ultimately you have given the time for that just 2 weeks back. And my full swing we work, and then I'm so grateful to you. Whenever we want to meet you, you never said no. Even you always said okay. Even for that, when you were in that president of the BJP also, you are the one instrumental to taking us to that Ministry of HRD also. Those days I can't forget. Whenever we want to go to that ministry also, you are the one who used to help us. So thank you very much, ma'am, that you have accepted our request, and your encouraging address. In fact, all people may be very, very useful because you have given that inspirational address. I'm so thankful to you. Madam, you also told about that PM mission. In fact, EPSI is continuously working for raising the quality with an easy access to education for all sections of the society, which is the ultimate dream of our Honorable Prime Minister on building Atmanirbhar Bharat and making India a 5 trillion economy by 2024. We are also trying our level best how to do it. And in fact, higher education sector, we are doing many works, but now we are entering into that school education. Like she said, ma'am, now that QCI is doing for the NABH, similar way the NABET also will come up in a very rightful manner. And you are the one launch, definitely it will come up in a very well. So thank you very much once again. And here also I would like to thank for Mr. Mehta, Mr. Manish Jindal and Madhu ma'am, all other the QCI people. Thank you very much because you have given that opportunity for the EPSI to associate with you. Jothi Murugan sir, thank you very much because last minute only I have requested you, accepted my request. You are here. Thank you very much. Of course, Malarvizhi ma'am, in fact, madam has given that very good office for the EPSI. EPSI is doing that wonderful office, even having an office in Chennai. Yes, EPSI having that four regional offices, ma'am. One is in that Pune, one is in Kolkata also. So madam has given that kind of support. Madam, thank you very much. Needless to say about our president, always he is guiding us. Thank you very much, sir. And most importantly, my special thanks to the press media who has accepted our invitation and present here for covering the entire program. In fact, it is going on live also. And my special hearty thanks to my colleagues, Mr. Rajendra, Mr. Sumit, Mr. Kailas, and other team members in our office for the dedication teamwork, my entire advisors, and even for that this think tank committee, this advisory committee also. At the end, I would like to thank my sincere thank to Mr. Siddharth Jain, Mr. Punyagodi, and Mr. Naresh Jain also. Now, once again, thank the Honorable Governor, our mentors, and mainly for our entire supporters, Vellore International School, 𝗪𝗂𝗪𝗵, Veltech, Manavachna, Ramaya, and all other peoples. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. 𝗪𝗵𝗵𝗁. We'll have a national anthem. Please, all are requested to please stand for the national anthem, please.
जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष माहे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. We'll have a group photograph of all the dignitaries on the dais. The delegates are requested to please let us have a group photograph of all the dignitaries. It's a sincere request to all the delegates. And I would also request the EPSI team and the QCI team to come for a group photograph once the main group photograph is done. Okay. May I request the QCI and EPSI team to please come on the stage. Yogesh Saini ji, please come on the stage. Requesting the dignitaries to please allow us to have a group photograph. It's a sincere request to all the dignitaries to allow us to have a group photograph, please. Thank you for witnessing such a historical moment today. Today is the day when we have put a foundation wherein EPSI is entering the school education fraternity. And on behalf of EPSI and on the expression of Mr. 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗁, I would want to promise that we will do a lot of activities in the school education ecosystem and we will try our best to perform as per your expectations. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the delegates for joining us, staying with us, keeping the patience till now. Thank you so much. Requesting all the dignitaries to please allow the chief guest to please, sir, I am from the